أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. صدق الله العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. واللاتي ياتين الفاحشة من نسائكم فاستشهدوا عليهن أربعة منكم فإن شهدوا فأمسكوهن في البيوت حتى يتوفاهن الموت ويجعل الله لهن سبيلا. صدق الله العظيم. Now before we start with the second issue, let me say something more about this law of inheritance. As many of you must be recalling, the first directive that came regarding this inheritance was the ayah in the 22nd section of Surah Al-Baqarah. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتُ إِنْ تَرَكَ خَيْرًا الْوَصِيَّةُ لِلْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ حَقًّا عَلَى الْمُتَّقِينَ. That was the first instruction. That if a person is dying and he is leaving some property behind him, he must make a will, a bequest. And that will should be in favor of the parents and relatives. It should not happen that all the property is possessed by one son or the only sons, nothing to daughters, nothing to the parents. They are left without anything. But still there was, the portions were not fixed. And at that time, this wasiyah, this making a will, was fard, imperative. Kutiba alaykum. It has been written upon you that you must make a bequest, you must make a will before dying, that whatever I am leaving behind, well, such and such portion should be given to my father, such and such portion should be given to my mother, and to such and such persons. That was a must for every dying Muslim. But now when this law of inheritance was revealed in this Surah Al-Nisa, that ayah stands abrogated. It is mansukh. Now making a will is not essential, not imperative. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has himself fixed the portions that the parents will be getting, that the sons will be getting, that the daughters will be getting, that the wife will be getting, or the husband will be getting out of the property of the deceased wife. So actually now there can be no wasiyah lil waris. But you know, this is the relationship between Sunnah and Qur'an. The Prophet ﷺ restricted this right of wasiyah to 1/3 of the total property. Number one, it is not farz now. If somebody dies without making any will, it's okay. No harm to him. He has not acted against the advice of the Sharia. But if he wants to make a will in favor of some friend, in favor of some institution, some center, some, good work of charity is going on, and he wants that some part of his property should be given to that institution, then he can make a will, a bequest, only up till the 1/3 of the total value of whatever he is leaving behind. And number two, he cannot make any bequest in favor of those whose portions have been fixed by this law of inheritance. These two things you must keep in mind. Now the second issue which is being dealt here in this Surah Al-Nisa is that of sex discipline. Sex anarchy and sex discipline. These two things are very different and opposite to each other. There was a sex anarchy in the Arabian society before the advent of Islam. And very gradually, Qur'an, and for that matter the Prophet ﷺ, they disciplined that society. The sex, neither Qur'an says that sex is evil. No, it's not evil, it's natural. It's a natural urge. So actually, it must be placed within limits, must be controlled. There should be no anarchy. It must be disciplined. So So now these issues will be discussed one by one. وَاللَّاتِي يَأْتِينَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مِن نِسَائِكُمْ. As for those of your women who commit some adultery, of your women, Muslim women, فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ أَرْبَعَةً مِّنْكُمْ. So you call 4 witnesses over her, but those witnesses should be minkum, Muslims, not non-Muslims. Now you keep in mind that this society up till that time at Medina was a mixed society. Muslims were there, even the pagan Arabs were there, out of the tribes of Aus and Khazraj, who had not accepted Islam up till now. Then the third element was the Jews. 3 very strong tribes of the Jews were present in Medina. So it was a mixed society. And actually what we call a state, the state had not been established up till now. The authority was distributed. The whole jurisdiction was not there for the Prophet ﷺ. That is why this ayah. Now supposing a Muslim woman has committed adultery, and she had committed this sin with some non-Muslim, and that non-Muslim, that Jew, for example, is not within the jurisdiction of the Muslim courts or the Muslim system order, what to do? So this ayah is pertaining to that case. وَاللَّاتِي يَأْتِينَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مِن نِسَائِكُمْ. As for your women, if someone among them commits that sin, فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ أَرْبَعَةً مِّنْكُمْ. So you call 4 witnesses, those witnesses from the Muslims. فَإِنْ شَهِدُوا, if they testify that yes, we saw this woman committing this sin, فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ فِي الْبُيُوتِ. Now you restrain them, confine them to their homes. They will not be allowed to go out of the homes. Restricted, confinement. As if now their homes will be like jails for them. They will be imprisoned in their homes. حَتَّى يَتَوَفَّاهُنَّ الْمَوْتِ. Till that time that death takes them away. It's a lifelong imprisonment till death. أَوْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لَهُنَّ سَبِيلًا. Or till such time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens another way for them. That way was when the last, injunction came about this adultery. What's the punishment? That is in Surah Al-Nur. That was the sabil that Allah opened. But till the revelation of those ayat of Surah Al-Nur, this was the order, and this had to be abided by. وَاللَّاتِي يَأْتِينَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مِن نِسَائِكُمْ فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ أَرْبَعَةً مِّنْكُمْ فَإِنْ شَهِدُوا فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ فِي الْبُيُوتِ حَتَّى يَتَوَفَّاهُنَّ الْمَوْتُ أَوْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ